day, every years, a new album.
Absolutely. So talk to me about this album. How did the idea come about? Let's get into it.
Paul, come on.
Okay, it was, I am technically the producer, but I call it the anti-production because we were performing in Rio de Janeiro, Mafalda and I, at a very important, it's a historic club called Beco das Garrafas.
Beco das Garrafas.
So Mafalda said, "Oh, let's invite Roberto Menescal because Mafalda did a duet, Natural Impression, with Menescal."
Yes.
And okay, and then we need a bass player. Let's call Cassim, who's also like the #1 alternative pop experimental DJ producer in Brazil, who's also a great bass player. Menescal, 87 years old, the original bossa nova composer, guitarist from the studios. It was very unlikely that they would say yes because we were, let's call them. It was informal. And they said, let's do it. And we were very honored. We played in this historic Copacabana club with these important Brazilian, we've collaborated with their friends. And it was so cool. My father said, what are you guys doing on Monday? Like, okay, let's do it. We went to the studio and we started this record. That's why I call it the anti-production. It wasn't, we had to figure out what tunes, and we sat around in a circle and we played, and it just came out with such a great energy that I think, as this interview is done, we're #9 for 2 weeks on the Jazz Week charts. And I believe that the spirit of it is contagious, and we were able to put onto record the spontaneity of Mafalda's improvisations and everything. And that's how it came about.
I think that it was a very informal meeting, but it turned out to be a strategic, creative, and a very interesting musical encounter. It was a big surprise for us because
We may have frozen up.
I froze.
Oh, okay.
talent. We create as a very interesting situation with, of course, Roberto Menescal and with Paul. Paul was incredible with everybody because they gave for us the possibility to put together with jazz, with bossa nova, with his big experience, all the big experience with Astro Gilberto, with the bossa nova in New York, and with a group, organic group. So sorry for my English.
No, you're fine. You sound wonderful. So
thank you.
Talk to me about the bossa nova angle. How did that start, and how has that become kind of a signature sound?
Everyone who approaches the jazz songbook has to go through Jobim, and everyone who goes through Jobim is seduced into the maybe lesser known composers. And bossa nova is the gateway drug to Brazilian music. Even so, in 2025, it's the most universally exported product from Brazilian music. And it's so rich in harmony, so rich in rhythm and colors.
Sophisticated atmosphere is important.
The concept here, like Mafalda mentioned, I played with a range for Astro Gilberto.
Yes.
Bel Gilberto. I played with the original drummers, like the Art Blakey and the Alvin from Brazil. Edison Machado. Bossa Nova to me is not, we must be very faithful to not take the cliche route, which is the that's where the bad image of bossa nova happens, where it's just kind of played by rote. It's totally related to jazz, and it's related to samba and the percussion instruments, the surdo, the tambourine. So I tried to recreate that energy of 1961, 2, 3, where, for instance, João Gilberto never used a drummer. There were percussionists, right? The bass player was very liberated from the typical bass player role. On our record, Cassim, he plays electric bass with knowledge of how a sword drum works. We have no bass drum on this record. We have the freedom, the dialogue of the original bossa nova. So, and the elements, we have a little documentary. I would like, maybe when this goes online, I'll post it for people to see, of Mafalda's trajectory from Italy to Brazil. And we have comments by Brazilian musicians, and they say how it's a great angle that Mafalda comes to it from Italian culture. And my living together with Brazilians in New York, and both Mafalda and I have almost 30 years working, living, producing, drinking from the fountain of Brazilian music. So I think Riofonic, which name I came up with that name, I think there's stereophonic, right, which reminds us of that period, and Riophonic, the sound of Rio, was an attempt to create a new kind of a vintage approach.
Yes.
Which includes the freshness of how it happened there. And man, the musicians, Juan Cortez on drums, no bass drum, Cassim. We have a couple special guests. Of course, Menescal, who plays acoustic guitar on 10 of the 14 songs, he sings on it. The greatest horn section that I've played with in the studio comes from the sort of omnipresent band of Antonio Odolfo, who's been on American radio so long. His trombone, trumpet, and sax player on it. Giacomo Lillenbaum on cello, who was a arranger for Jobim for many years, a brilliant musician. So that's how bossa. Mafalda, how is bossa?
I want to say to Joe that I wanted to give back to Rio de Janeiro everything I had learning, absorbed it, and experienced it after 30 years of living in Brazil with the musicians and with the beautiful live experience on stage through our new album Riofonic, of course. It's also a deep expression of love and reference for the vast musical universes of Rio de Janeiro, because it's incredible to understand how much is the big, the talent and the soul, the vibrations there. And I try to really give back this with my voice, with my spirit, with my love. It's the beautiful, beautiful musical world.
So, how are the Italian people and the Brazilian people? How are they similar? How does this work?
I don't know if we are similar. I think that, of course, it's a Latin people,
Yeah.
of course. But I think that Brazilians guys are same style of the life when the Italy Paolo, quando era tipo 40-50 anos atrás, Paul.
Italy has become maybe a little more westernized, whereas Brazil has that Italian spirit.
Yeah, of course, both cultures are known for the style of life, for their hospitality, and welcoming nature. Family is the central to both of the culture, the societies, often forming the core of social life. Both cultures have a deep appreciation for food and cooking as a way to bring people together around the table, for drink together, to stay together, and passion for music, and dance, of course. Music and dance play an essential role in both the Brazilian and Italian culture, serving as a key expression of joy and tradition. And both countries are famous for their lively festival and celebration and party, But for the valori, Paul, come si dice valori? Values is a little,
Values.
Values is a different. Is a different.
Yeah.
I have something to add. Is that this is very mysterious when I speak to my friends in New York. They can't.
Yes.
Mafalda was an established personality on TV in Italy, and a Brazilian millionaire wanted to set up this special jet set club in Rio and sent the talent scout. And they found Mafalda, and Mafalda could not believe when she came to Rio how much the Italian culture was vibrant and important to the Brazilians.
Yes.
The Beatles, of course, happened in Brazil, but for a period, as the Beatles were breaking out, the top music on the radio in Brazil was Italian music. So they requested songs from her that she hadn't heard or didn't know from her youth. So that need or that desire in the Brazilian culture to have a connection to Italy is was the incentive for her to stay longer, which became a year, and she became a personality, a recording artist, a TV person. So she stayed in Brazil because of the similarities or the interconnection of Brazilian and Italian culture, which doesn't really happen in America outside of a small kind of a society, a Columbus society or something. So then she started to work with Brazilian artists and Brazilian musicians, and the whole thing just mushroomed. So if you go online and see her bio, she's sung with Milton Nascimento, João Bosco, Leni Andrade, Martinho da Vila, Ginga, Paulo Moura, and it's become Riofonic is sort of, as she said, it's a thank you after a full circle where she's performing bossa nova, but with her Italian personality. And we have the most famous song, Girl from Ipanema, and some obscure songs too.
I think that in Brazil, Paul and Joe, people sharing and protect their own music, like samba and bossa nova, MPB, and other kinds of styles. Brazil is a very, very big country. There is a love for, in Italy, everybody love for foreign music, and they often adapt this kind of music into Italian style.
Yeah. So what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
I think that this album is a very, very important for me, because it's a beautiful, it gave the beautiful vibrations and beautiful emotion. Because sincerely, it was produced and playing and sing with love and with the respect of this incredible author, composers, beautiful lyrics, and the jazz help us to communication with everybody. It's not as important to understand the lyrics, the words, the means of the lyrics, because the music is a beautiful tappeto, Paul. There's a beautiful, understand, Paul?
Patchwork or a carpet.
Yes, and easy. Entra facilmente.
And if I can answer the same question, Mafalda is a communicator. She wants people to feel the love and the beauty. I am somewhat of a historian, and I would like that people rethink the possibilities of bossa nova or samba.
Oh, beautiful, really, Paul. Really.
Brazilian music is music, right? And
oh, yes.
if you think of it as Brazilian music, you may sell it short. It's music. And the sophistication, the spontaneity, the dialogue, the soloists, we have horn soloists. Man, these solos, you put them right up there on any stage with the cats who can play anything in jazz, and they're right there. The humility. There's so many musicians who want to show all their technique. I was making a joke with my friend the other day that some of these, now that I'm an older guy, some of these younger musicians, I don't know if I should buy the album or buy the action figure. It's like this projection. And man, Menescal, 87 years old, and he started as a session guitar player. And he said, man, just show me the charts. I may be a little rusty. And everyone was taking coffee breaks. He's sitting down with me. Come on, let's work. He getting the guitar sound right. And just so humble. And that comes out in the music where it just embraces you. It's not trying to be anything other than just dialogue and beauty.
Everyone, all the musicians put their heart and talent into it, showing a balanced musical approach. Ninguém era melhor de ninguém. Traduz, Paul.
Nobody was better than anybody. There you go. Speak Portuguese or Italian.
Yeah. Nessuno era meglio di nessuno, ma tutti eravamo meravigliosi.
So, Joe, did you like it? Did you take a listen?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I caught it, and I think it's great. And I love the Brazilian vibe. I love something that is the feeling. You were tapping into that visceral feeling, something that washes over you. There's not a lot of thought that you need to put into it. You're not picking things apart. You're just feeling it. You can, have a glass of wine and walk around the house, have friends over.
Yes.
Right? And you can just, it's a social music. And I think that's the reason why I love the Brazilian vibe, because it's such a social institution and it's emblematic of their people. And that's kind of why I was talking about the Italians and the Brazilians, because there tends to be that playful side, that very feeling side. We're using hands and we're talking and projecting, and that's what music does. Music is full of hands and projection. So I love it.
Oh, grazie, obrigada. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See, really. I'm really very, very happy because that two songs written by Paul and me are included, and everyone loved them.
Yeah.
The radio, the friends, the family.
Menescal
Menescal loves it, And
Yeah.
for this reason, I'm really happy
Yeah.
because it's not easy to include two songs written by us in the middle of this incredible composer
Yeah.
like Carlos Lira and the Menescal and Johnny Half and Antonio Carlos Jobim. It's really was a big desafio. There's a big
Sound.
desafio. Yes, but Paul was incredible with his arrangement, and I helped him, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I put my force, my popular side, because I want that everybody sing with me. When I recording, all the time, I saw people sit in front of me, the guys, the audience sit, and Paul not.
No, I close my eyes.
Paul closed, exactly, we are on the post
Mafalda,
again, but all the time together, with the beautiful balances, because we play together since 1996. And I love him, and he loves me, and it is a very important in that time when you create it, when prepare, the food together, the musical food together. It's good.
Yeah. And that's the emotion that goes into the music. You have to feel it to get it to be on the music, and that's how it works. So
you have to have a story to tell it. You can't tell a story if you don't have a story. But go ahead. I don't want to.
No, you're good. I'm just curious, on that note, what are you doing for live shows? Where can people pick up a copy of the album? All of the good business.
Okay, mafaldaminnozzi.com website. Digitally, we have physical copies in the States, in Brazil, in Italy. But
Yes.
depending on where we are, the sending out, because it's an independent label. www.mafaldaminnozzi.com. Everything is available through that. And we are performing in Brazil now. We will go to Italy and Germany, Italy, then back in Brazil. We come to the States. We'll have shows in the New York area in June and July. And then we'll come to Dazzle in Denver in September. And we're still organizing our agenda because we are in 3 bases: Italy, Brazil, New York. But send us your offer. We want to play.
Yeah, I can.
You are in Kansas City?
Yeah, we can send the album autographed by Paul, by both Paul and me. Okay.
Yeah, I will definitely send you some contacts here because I'd love to see you in Kansas City.
Oh,
so I'll do that after we're done. I'll email it over to you. But again, it's so great to catch up. Thank you for talking about the album. Best of luck with the touring. I know it's going to go fabulous. And again, I love the album. I appreciate you taking a minute out.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Joe. Grazie.
Grazie.
Joe, I want to say that Paul and I love your passion. Thank you so much for your beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
We need people, guy like you. Really,
Thank you.
Joe Domino here, host of KC's Neon Jazz Radio. On International Jazz Day, April 30th, join us at the Music Hall in downtown Kansas City for the event of the year, 90 Years of Count Basie Swing. At 7 p.m., the world-famous Count Basie Orchestra takes the stage. From 5 to 7 p.m., it's a VIP reception with jazz legends and honorees. Finally, from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., join the after-party jam session at Lonnie's Reno Club inside the Ambassador Hotel. Tickets are moving fast. Get yours now at kccreativecity.com/count-basie. This event is part of International Jazz Day, supported by the UNESCO Creative Cities Network, with Kansas City proudly standing as America's only creative city of music. I'll see you there, Kansas City.